Peace, family. This is Brandon B. Dixon, and you're tuned into another episode of the Power of Ownership podcast. We live. Um, Again, we're continuing the 48 Laws of Power series where we're going over the book by Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power. Quickly, let me introduce myself. My name is Brandon B. Dixon. I'm a serial entrepreneur, mortgage broker, published author, community activist, so on and so forth, sales trainer, et cetera, et cetera. The Power of Ownership podcast is talking about, we started as Power of Ownership of properties, again, because I'm a mortgage broker, properties, passive income, businesses. Then it morphed to ownership of the mind, body, and soul, because you can't have the seen without the unseen. So we're kind of that bridge in between. The series, The 48 Laws of Power, this book I read about 17 years ago for the first time. My cousin and I, we used to study it like a textbook because, coming from where we come from, there's little or no guidance, especially as far as business. We're taught to get you a quote unquote good education, get you a good job and a nice girlfriend that you can make your wife, and then that's it. That's what we're taught in our community. We had different visions. We wanted to become or switch the curse, so on and so forth. We wanted to become entrepreneurs, not just any entrepreneurs, but some of the best in our field. So we, chose to get our education elsewhere. We chose to get education from books, from life experience, so on and so forth. So one of the books that we loved, my cousin and I, was The 48 Laws of Power. And tune in, going back to retro for the episodes that we're breaking down laws 1 through 22. Now we're on law 23, so I'm going to get right into it. I'm not going to keep y'all too long. Law 23 talks about concentrate your forces. And what I like to do is I like to talk about how I thought about it and felt about this law when I first read it, and how it's morphed now since I've become more enlightened, more into the metaphysical, more into the occult. So let's start what I used to think when I first read this. When I first read this particular law, I thought this was a ho-hum, obvious law, but I never put it into practice. Our theory, and I don't know where we got this theory from. I don't know, it just came out of nowhere, but it's to put as much product, as many different lines out there, and see which one catches. Something going to be bound to catch fire. That was the theory. So we did the opposite of the law. We didn't concentrate our forces at all. We had the clothing line, which you can see right there. We had the production company, where we shot and edited films. We had the online store. We had the brick and mortar video stores. We had the record label. I had my, where I was, into the music industry. Also we had like a management company as well. So we had like 6 or 7 things going, and we just was saying which one, putting not really minimal effort into, but this kind of putting the stuff out there periodically to see which one catches fire. Not really the right way to go. And I had to learn that the hard way. Like, we all have we had mild success in each one of them, but none of them really blew because we became a jack of all trades, master of none. So even with now, I kind of fight myself. I have multi-talents in multi-different arenas. I'm a writer, I could sales train. I got the mortgage business going. I could even teach classes of sales and marketing, but I kind of trim the fat. Now, what is morphed to now, I kind of concentrate my forces on what actually makes the bread and butter, which is mortgages, and that's kind of what I concentrate on, trying to become the top 1% in the mortgage field first. I got the podcast, I got, sales training and stuff like that, but I put all that in the back burner until I could, become in the top 1% of the mortgage field. Then from there, I could get into more more of my books, more of things I want to do from there. But I'm concentrating my forces strictly to build that particular business up first. Now the podcast and the sales training and the books and stuff like that is just to build my brand, to build that up for right now. That's kind of where it's going. So I learned how to channel that, all these different energies and all these different talents that I have, and channel it to one thing. And then once that one thing, you do 110 of that one thing, and it has no choice but to blow. The fruits that you yield from there, now I could plant different seeds and different things and then have it go from there. I got a whole bunch of stuff up my sleeve. That's the thing about being multi-talented, but you have to concentrate on the one that makes money. And the one that makes money is the mortgages. The one that, I'm in my second year right now. We're just starting to boom out. I did exceptionally well for my first year, but not good enough for me. I want to be in the top 500 of the nation. That's my goal. And that's where I'm going to be. Give me another year or so, period. So that's where I'm going. And, a lot of people, it takes, and this is not for the faint of heart. Owning your own business takes extremely, extremely long to blow, and it takes 110% of your effort. The flip side of it, the alternative would be working on somebody else's dream, and you work 25, 40 years, whatever. And at the end of that, your tenure, you get a watch or you get a pair of boots. I was talking to my grandfather the other day. He said he worked 25 years from, 2 different companies in his lifetime, and he got a watch for one, you got a pair of boots for another one. So think about that. 25 years of your life gone, and you have nothing to show for it. And that person prospered off of your work. Or do you want to take 2 to 5 years, on your own, building up your own brand, and then eat caviar for the rest of your life? And, just duck the arrows. People going, oh, you're not, you got to do what you got to do on the come up. But once that business has been established, then you will laugh the best. He who laughs will laugh the best. So a lot of people can't see that vision. They can't make it past that 5 years. They can't be disciplined enough for 5 years. You gotta cut those vacations. I don't go on vacation. A lot of people go on vacation right now, July 4th weekend. I'm in here working. I'm in here studying guidelines. I'm in here putting these cards in the Excel spreadsheet. I'm doing my podcast while I'm here in the lab. Do I want to be on a beach somewhere right now? Sure. Why not? But until I get to that point, I wouldn't enjoy it the same. If I don't have the disposable income to just throw away, 3 times, why would I do something? Why would I take my last and go on a vacation, and knowing I can't afford it? Doesn't make sense. You got to have the discipline. Discipline is the key to business. Again, I went on a tangent. That was a little personal tangent I went on. Let's get to law number 24. Play the perfect courtier. What I thought about this law when I first read it 17 years ago, I understood it, but I actually went backwards as far as applying it. My energy, anybody that's been around me know my energy is infectious. A lot of people love my energy. The way I talk, I don't know the way I don't know what it is, but my energy, my positivity is infectious. So play the perfect courtier means when you court somebody in a relationship, you're at your best. You're chivalric. Meaning you're using chivalry and flattery in order to gain what you need to gain. I did that at one point, but income got to a certain point, I kind of turned that off. I kind of expected people to kind of do the same to me, and some parts it did happen, but you become addicted to it. So you kind of turn that off on certain people. And in turn, I kind of lost some of my fan base because they got addicted to my original energy. That's another thing. So it kind of ties to a law that comes earlier where it says don't seem too common, kind of absence. So you got to use your energy, but you can't get people addicted to it because it's going to wear you out. You got to either learn how to train people, other people as alternatives to give that same type of energy so they have a surrogate, or you have that energy that you give them where it's hard to get to. And I'll give you an example. Let me break it down. Well, my video stores, everybody that know I had a video store in Houston. I had one in New Orleans. When I was in New Orleans, sales would go down. When I was in when I was in New Orleans, sales would go down to Houston. When I was in Houston, sales would go down to New Orleans. The reason being is because people wanted to do business with me personally. That little, I guess, twinkle of an eye that I gave them, that little joke or whatever that I gave them, people would get addicted to that. In retail, people will come in not only just to buy the product, and this is all in my book, but people will come to actually just talk to me, just to get that feeling of what I'm doing. Plus, on the same tip, you're seeing somebody that's going to rise that might become a potential star, and they see that in you. So, that's why they call them stars, because you have the media, the satellites that revolve around these stars, the stardust, so I have a bunch of meteors around me to try to, just to get a little glimpse of, a star in the making. So with that being said, I couldn't grow the store because, that star power is missing. The people that I had in there, even my cousin, he doesn't have the same star power as me. I tried to make it, so I tried to train him on that, but it just doesn't. It's not the same thing. Same thing with Houston. If you got somebody in there that's a worker, they're not going to have the same oomph and the same get up and go and the same gumption about your dream that you would. So the sales would just drop off. So I couldn't figure out why at the time. So I kind of went the opposite way. I was like, well, let me do things, in which I kind of am now, where I do things where it's only on me that you could do business. Like I got out of retail completely. That's why I'm a mortgage broker now. It's like, you're doing business with me and me only. Now I have my team and all that stuff, but each one of us are individuals. So I got out of retail. So my sales training and stuff like that is all up to me. So I kind of got out of stuff where I have to be somewhere 24/7 in order for me make money. And now I'm more flexible. I can be anywhere. I could, as long as I pull up a laptop, I could make money off online on my books or so on and so forth. So that kind of changed my perspective of things. So how this what this relates to playing the perfect courtier is that instead of getting into something where you have to be there all the time, focus your energy on where you're more flexible, where you're more in charge of your business success than other people. Now, you're not going to get rich by yourself. Now, you definitely have to have a crew and all that stuff, but make yourself to where you're the determining factor of your business. Don't place your business in the hands of others, because it's going to be that much harder to bring things into fruition. So that's what I learned from that rule, is that, my energy is hard to duplicate. So when I court somebody, it's going to be hard for me to train somebody else to court them the same way. So I might as well court them myself. That's how I took that rule. So again, I don't want to keep y'all too long. At Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. Please go ahead and follow me. The God is a Verb t-shirts are out right now. Go to my Instagram, click on the link in the bio. Got like 10 more days to buy the God is a Verb t-shirts. They're dope. They have one black and one gray right now. So it's limited edition. So please cop those. My book, Sales, The Nucleus of Any Profession, is out right now. Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. Please cop that. If you need a mortgage, www.hocmortgage.com. Right now, people are in a frenzy right now. My whiteboard right here is crazy full, and I want to get it to where I need 2 boards. So keep on, please, keep on coming. Realtors, if you need a referral partner, remember, all loan officers are not created equal. I work probably the hardest to be the head of the pack to distinguish myself from the rest. If I can't make a deal stick, I'm confident enough to say nobody can at this point. You know, I know more than most branch managers, you know, and a lot of people would say so. I have a lot of people that are vouch for that. This might be being a research nut and studying these guidelines, interpreting these guidelines, having reading comprehension, knowing how to comprehend what I'm reading. And most people, and that's a lost art nowadays. So with that being said, I'm not going to keep y'all too long. My name is Brandon B. Dixon. Please follow us on all social media accounts. thepowerofownership.org is out right now. Please subscribe to the newsletter. And with that, I'm going to say God is a verb, and personal responsibility is your only savior. And I'm going to say peace.